This is what Banyan Court in the historic town of Lahaina looks like before the fire outbreak. But this is what it looks like today. Completely ruined. The Maui wildfires destroyed more than 2,200 structures, most of which were residential buildings. The fires also burned more than 3,000 acres of land, destroying historic sites. As the fire swept through the town, people were trapped in their cars and houses with no place to escape but to jump into the ocean for safety. The death toll has risen to at least 110, and experts still warn that it could still go higher as 1,300 people are still missing. The Maui wildfire is referred to as one of the worst natural disasters in Hawaii's history and the deadliest wildfire in the United States since 1918. Rebuilding Maui is estimated to cost more than $5.5 billion. But what could have caused this wildfire? And why was it so devastating? Well, to understand that, it goes back to the days leading up to the fire. Hawaii had experienced strong winds coming from the north and south. By Monday, August 7, 2023, the winds had become strong enough to topple trees, which knocked out power lines. According to Maui County officials, the first fire they reported was a bushfire near Olinda Road in Kula, a town in the upcountry area of the island. Video evidence from a security camera, situated next to Olinda Road in Makawao, seems to show a spark in the forest around 10:47 p.m. that Monday night. Jennifer Pribble, a senior research coordinator at the Maui Bird Conservation Center, suggested that the spark might have occurred when a tree fell on a power line during the strong winds. The spark would later become a wildfire due to the wind spreading rapidly through the town. Before early morning on Tuesday, August 8th, the fire had burned through about 700 acres of land and 19 homes had been destroyed. Also in Lahaina, at around 6:37 a.m., what seemed like an explosion occurred near Lahaina Luna Road, with some residents testifying that the sound came from a nearby power line. The strong wind had knocked out the power lines, which upon making contact with the dried grass in the area, ignited the Lahaina fire. Officials would later announce by 9:30 a.m. that the fire has been fully contained, but they were wrong. The flames kept raging and devouring the town, destroying more than 2,200 buildings and more than 2,000 acres of land. Some of Lahaina's historical and sacred sites were destroyed. The flames in Lahaina were so devastating that many people had to jump into the ocean just to escape the fire. But thanks to the U.S. Coast Guards, at least 17 people were rescued. In an attempt to limit the spread of the fire, emergency officials closed multiple roads, including Honoapialani Highway from Hekiokio Place to Lahaina Bypass. But that turned out to be a bad idea, as it caused some serious traffic jams as people tried to evacuate the city. Unfortunately, many people were trapped in their cars and burned to death as the fire swept through the town. Here are some of the factors that made the fire so devastating. First, the historic town of Lahaina, a popular tourist destination and home to 12,000 people, was already dealing with a convergence of strong high-pressure downslope winds from the north. This, along with the lack of rain, had created a severe drought that turned invasive grasses into a tinderbox waiting to ignite a disaster. Secondly, the island was on a very high alert due to Hurricane Dora, a Category 4 storm that passed hundreds of miles south of the island and made its closest approach on August 8th. The hurricane on its own may have played a minor role in the fires, as it had a small wind field. However, the presence of a strong high-pressure wind from the north of the island and a low-pressure wind from Hurricane Dora on the south created a tropical storm that traveled at 67 miles per hour, causing the rapid spread of the fire through Lahaina. Given all that was going on, one might have assumed that the warning sirens would be blaring, but they never did. They stayed silent throughout. Hawaii is known to have one of the largest systems of outdoor public safety warning sirens in the world, with 80 of these warning sirens placed around Maui. But in the advent of the devastating wildfire, none of them was activated. The chief of Maui Emergency Management Agency, Herman Andaya, while briefing the press, said the protocol is to use the coastal sirens only during tsunami warnings and not during wildfires. Andaya told reporters that the sirens were used to signal people to seek higher ground, and he feared sounding the signal could have led evacuees straight into the flames. His statement proved he had no experience in handling emergencies like this. As of August 17, 2023, 3 of the 4 places in Maui were still burning, including Olinda and Kula in the upcountry region, as some terrains were difficult to reach. More than a week later, the officials are still investigating what exactly started the fires in Maui, one of the deadliest U.S. wildfires in more than a century. though the focus is turned towards the state's biggest power utility company, Hawaiian Electric, to assess its role in the wildfires. But the Lahaina residents are not taking it lightly, as they have sued the company, alleging its equipment was not strong enough to withstand such fast winds, and that the company should have shut down its power as the winds reached such high levels. Herman Andaya has also resigned, citing health issues. Andaya's resignation comes as the agency is facing scrutiny for its handling of the wildfire. Some critics have accused the agency of not doing enough to warn residents about the fire or to help them evacuate. The wildfires that swept through Maui Island leave a trail of utter destruction. Entire blocks of homes, businesses, and cultural landmarks reduced to ash. Hulks of burned-out cars and trucks litter the streets, and the air is filled with the smell of smoke and chemicals. A disaster caused by a combination of factors, including dry vegetation, strong winds, and low humidity, which now poses a threat of long-term health consequences for residents. The fires have also caused a housing crisis on the island. Many people have lost their homes, and the few that remain are in high demand. This is likely to drive up prices, making it even harder for people to afford a place to live. The recovery effort will be long and difficult, but the people of Maui are resilient as they are willing to rebuild their community. In the meantime, they need our help and support to get through this difficult time. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. I am so grateful to all of you for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. Your support means the world to me, and I'm so excited to continue this journey with you all. See you in the next video.